Hello everybody, Johnny Kenny here from Sligo Rovers. Subscribe to Irish Footy Vlogs for the best League of Ireland content around.
Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Premier Division review show with 4 games this weekend. Again, 3 in the Friday night and we had 1 on the Saturday night. I suppose to start off, Dalymount Park, and Bohemians obviously won the Dublin Derby 3-1 against Shamrock Rovers. All the goals in the first half, which is mental. The first goal was an own goal from Grace. It was actually very sloppy from Rovers, funnily enough, wasn't it? It was a ball in for Cooch, actually. I think Hoare went ahead and hit off Grace and went in. You could say it was a bit lucky. Promise then on 42. Sorry, Managerial equalised, of course. Better not forget about that. And 38 minutes, and the usual shithousery and stuff from both sets there as well. And the two managers obviously coming to loggerheads. We might get into that as well. Both getting sent off. Promise scoring. I think Poles comes flying off his line when there's no need, in my opinion, there. Promise would have had a lot to do if Poles stayed in his line, put it that way. And Cornwall on 45, a little bit scrappy again from Rovers' point of view, but a nice finish from Cornwall. I don't know, where do you want to take up here? There's a lot in that, isn't there? And that's just the first half.
It was a good first half. Well, I say a good first half. It was a good 15 minutes, I'd say, after. The first couple of minutes was very cagey. There was a good tempo to the game from minute 1. I was delighted. I don't know how, but I managed to avoid the scoreline. So I didn't know the score going home. So I was buzzing after.
I avoided you.
Yeah, I didn't know the score, so I was delighted with myself, and I put my phone in airplane mode, and because I knew you'd see it somewhere. So I put it on airplane mode the minute the Pats game was over, because I didn't hear the result. Went home, delighted, watched it. Really good tempo. I was impressed with the tempo of the game. I thought Rovers might go there and slow it down. They didn't. And I kind of played into Bow's hands a little bit. But look, there was a bit of messing around, and Rovers kind of had their little bit when they done the guard of honour for themselves. I found it funny. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of like, well, if you aren't gonna give us one, we'll give ourselves one or something like that.
Funny.
I found it a little bit funny, but at the same time, a lot of childish things went on there Friday in terms of wearing the league champions jersey, warming up. And
that's been bubbling though, Keane, hasn't it? That kind of behaviour from both clubs, really.
I don't mind a bit of laugh here and there.
Yeah.
But, you're wearing the league champions jersey. Look, they're worthy champions. Nobody's denying them that. But I just think it's a little bit ripping the piss, And then, obviously, you have the players. They should be focused on the game. And they're walking out and they're seeing the whole coaching staff giving them a guard of honour. And I think I might just take their eye off it a little bit. In my opinion, now I'd find that as a distraction, just to myself. Now I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm not saying anything like that. Just to myself, I didn't think Rovers focused on the game. They kind of focused on the occasion a little bit more. Look, they probably didn't have to focus on the game. They're champions and stuff like that. I get that, and I understand why they done what they did. But come on, we're a professional league here, and the game went in. Like I said, very impressed tempo-wise. Thought it was top class, and look, I just burst into life after. It was a lucky goal. Look bad, sloppy from Rovers, but they get in. Lee Grace was very unlucky. There's nothing you can do with that. He's in the 6-yard box and it hits off him. It's one of them things. So you're going 1-0 down. Then all of a sudden Rovers get back into it with a goal out of nothing really.
Lovely ball by Watts, actually, to be fair, wasn't it?
A great ball, but nothing leading up to it. The ball kind of came to Watts, and a bit of magic. He's been excellent all season for them. And, Watts is one of them players that, he can really turn it on. He can change a game himself. Now, Rovers have 6 or 7 of them players, but Watts is definitely one of them. And, he'd be wanting to nail down his position even for next season, because I think he's a must start. He has to start the majority of the games for Rovers. Even with the talk of Jack Bone coming back and stuff like that, I still think Dylan Watts needs to play for Rovers, and I think he can do the job that just keeps them ticking and keeps them playing, and that little bit of magic that can play further forward. So, he was excellent again, and great ball in, and a lovely tidy finish as well from Managerial, but it was sloppy defending at the same time. But he took it well. Look, he had this little celebration. He had that little thing, and look, we'll get on to Dean Williams' celebration, I presume, but I've nothing against players having a little celebration, but I think he milked it a little bit, and he stayed there a little bit longer than he should have.
Unfortunately, you do ask for trouble when you do things like that. We'll get into
Exactly.
Williams later as well, and it does antagonise and stuff. Like, it doesn't.
That's it. And look, if anything, I think Bowes fans should be nearly thanking him in a way, because I think it really just ignited the whole ground.
Certainly ignited Bradley and Long, didn't it, in the Dutch line?
But funnily enough, I actually think if the away fans were there, I think Bowes actually would have been a better atmosphere in the Bowes end.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm looking behind the Des Kelly, and I'm just, I'm not slating people for going and watching that team, but it was quiet, and I'm like, that could be full of Rovers fans. That's the bit that done me now. But I was Bradley and Long, I think they'd be disappointed. Now, Keith Long has a cup final coming up. What happens there? Is he gone? You just, something stupid like that. And all of a sudden now he could be sitting in the stand for the cup final. Now, I'm not sure whether he is or not.
I feel he'll probably be suspended for the Sligo match, but I don't actually know. That's a fact.
It's a straight red card, and the two of them were head to head. I didn't, for some reason, nobody got a picture of the two of them head to head. But they probably did, and were told not to put her out. I don't know what way it was, but I haven't seen anything. All I heard on the commentary was Bradley and Long have gone head to head, and then you just see him coming over with the red cards, and
you see Long walking the whole length of the pitch to go off as well and stuff. It's just
but look, it's disappointing that it came to that. It boiled out. Look, I know derbies. I can't say I know the Bows and Rovers derby, and I know what it means, but I can't say I understand how people feel in them derbies because I'm not involved in it. I don't know what it's like. But I'd be fuming if I was there. You see the two managers going head to head, and I'm getting sent off. And early in the game, the game wasn't over. It was evenly poised at 1-1. But I think it played into Bowes' hands a little bit. I don't know why, but they just seemed to go out and just want to batter Rovers after that. And it was free flowing. It was that, 8 or 9 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it was, of just pure madness. Promise got in behind. When he's in behind, you're in trouble. He's a player I'm not looking forward to seeing in the cup final.
I actually said to someone, just on a quick side note, I'd actually, from a Pat's point of view, I'd rather Georgie Kelly played instead of him, as funny as that sounds.
I think
the way he plays,
I'll be honest now. If I'm being honest, I think they're going to rush Georgie Kelly back for the final. He's not going to be fully fit, and I think that's going to play into Pat's hands.
Yeah.
But, that's just going a little bit off topic. But he got in behind. Yeah. And once he's in behind, if he can hit the target or even make the keeper a save, that's brilliant. And he didn't. He didn't disappoint, and it was a brilliant goal. In fairness, look, question marks about the keeper. There's no doubt about it. But it's only his 4th or 5th game probably for Shamrock Rovers first team overall. And it's not a lot.
He's been there about 10 years.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
But, then you're 2-1 down. And you get a corner. Look, people are saying great goal from Rob Cornwall. He literally had about 5 seconds to put that in the back of the net. There was no one around him. And look, I'm not taking away from the goal. Look, brilliant technique to stick it in the back of the net from where he was.
Uncharacteristic stuff from Rovers, though, defensively.
Yeah, so I think they just switched off and their heads were gone.
Yeah.
Then the whistle blew and that was it. I have time, and I'm rubbing my hands together here. I'm saying this is going to be fantastic. This is going to be a mad game, yeah. And then the second half, really disappointed, didn't they? A little bit.
Yeah.
Bowes won't care. They won the game. Rovers won't care. They're league champions. But the game petered out a little bit, and that was, in fairness, I thought Bowes were on top for large parts of the second half as well. And without really doing much or creating so much, they should have had a stonewall penalty, in my opinion. In the second half, I don't think anyone can dispute that, even Rovers fans. But look, it'd be interesting to see now, for me personally, whether Keith Long, what happens for the cup final, because it's you can't do that. Your manager,
Yeah, it wasn't like a normal sending off or giving guff either. You didn't see the pictures, but it's quite clear from what I've seen and read and all that they were literally head to head, which
Yeah, and I just think, in these games you need experience, and Keith Long is vastly experienced and stuff like this, and so was Bradley. Bradley has been around and played in these games, and he'd be in these games. You were looking for Bradley to have the cool head when he was playing, and calm the occasion down. That's exactly what I'd be saying to if I was a manager when Bradley was playing, because he would have been one of the leaders in that dressing room.
Yeah.
So I'm disappointed, and even the cup game there when he was, he lets the occasion of Dalymount get the better of him a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that feeds on the team, to be honest, King, because that's the third time this season Bowes have actually beaten them at Dalymount. Well, I do think there's an element of that comes into it.
He was having a pop at the Stewarts in the cup game, and causing more the crowning and all. And it's just, there's no need for it. Focus on your team and get the win. And I just think everyone needs to calm down in this game a little bit.
Yeah.
I know people will say they want to see this, they want to see a bit of fight, they want to see a bit of hunger, but I think there's a time and a place for it. And after 38 minutes when managers are going head to head, someone needs to kill the Jets here a little bit. And in fairness to Trevor Crowley and Glenn Cronin, they did calm the sides down and calm the occasion down a little bit. And I think it was definitely a more calmer second half. But that couple of minutes just blew everything out of proportion, in my opinion. And it's not, like I said, people will be loving that and enjoying it. And I know the lads on the commentary were kind of enjoying it as well, but that's because Bowes were 3-1 up.
Yeah. If they were 3-1 down, there might have been a different complexion on it. Yeah.
I just don't think it's what you want to see. You don't want to see our managers going head to head. You don't want to see that, it's just for me now. People might disagree in the comments or whatever, but for me, I think let's get the game done and let's play it in the right fashion for me now.
Yeah, you want to see that on the pitch and tackles sign in and things, but not that, I think. But we'll move on to Derry City because it kind of ties in. Obviously, Derry City beat Sligo Rovers 2-0. McGonigal with 2 goals, 1 in each half, and it sets it up for an interesting last day of the season. Bowes are ahead of Derry. They do have a plus 8 goal difference. So Bowes basically beat Sligo and 4th is theirs. So, it's an interesting one. The game itself, though, the Brandywell, now I have to say, Keane, I'm not going to lie, I watched mostly the second half because the stream in the first half and knowing the score, oh my God, honestly, it was terrible. Like, it wasn't just bad. I mean, it was flicking in and out. I couldn't see half of what was going on. I did manage to see McGonigal's goals and he took them well and he was actually very good in the night. But massive win for Derry City. Sligo having obviously qualified for Europe, are missing Bulger and Brush was in goal as well. And they weren't too bad in the game, actually. Walter Ferguera had one of his better games, but you could just sense the extra bit of hunger from a Derry point of view, I think.
Yeah, I knew Derry were going to go and win this well. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I have to say, they didn't disappoint. They were on the front foot from the start. They wanted it. Look, Sligo are in Europe now. It was kind of, we'll get on to the Pats game, but it kind of felt like that as well. Let's get through the game. That's the way it was. Sligo would be disappointed they lost it in the fashion they did, I think. But, Derry were fully deserving to the win. The stream, like you said, first half wasn't great. Second half was marginally better. But, took the goals well when he got his chances. They didn't get an awful lot of chances in the game. But when they did, they took them. Jamie was brilliant on the night.
He's turned into a bit of a key player, Keane. Certainly now going into next season, without getting too far ahead, but he's kind of gone under the radar with all their Duffy signings and their McElhenney signings. But obviously, he's got better as time has gone since he was signed the summer as well. And I think next season, when they get him for a full season, he kick on again.
Yeah, and just as you mentioned, Duffy and McElhenney, it's the two of them in the third year of night, and they're playing Derry next week. And
not a fan of that. Not a fan of that.
I really I actually, for the first time, I actually looked at the comments and someone actually wrote underneath the players will play 100% for the shirt while they're playing with the team. But you're looking at the two of them there smiling in a photo. They're not there in the skies, I don't mean in the skies, but they're not up the back of the stand or whatever.
Dark sunglasses.
Yeah. No, do you know what I mean? They're not up the back of the stand or anything. They're posing for a picture. They're playing playing next week. Now, like I said,
it's just as well Dundalk. Look, they're out of the picture really, but their goal difference just as well. But
Well, I'm not a fan of that now. If I was Dundalk, look, they've been fantastic servants to Dundalk, and what they've done for Dundalk is just unbelievable. And I think Dundalk fans will be forever grateful. But I'm not a fan of that. What happened, and I don't like seeing them there. I don't like McElhenney in the away end when they play Drogheda and stuff like that, especially the Dundalk's rivals, like, you know. And I'm not a fan. I'm really not. It's something that
you're just really showing you're more than halfway out the door and that kind of thing, and your mind is
yeah.
elsewhere.
Look, Derry fans will absolutely love it. I've no doubt seeing them coming in, and you know the Derry people, the Derry supporters, Derry will cherish this and love it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think they owe a little bit better to Dundalk. Just a small bit. Look, I'm not saying they owe them anything in terms of what they've won or don't owe them anything. Just a little bit of respect, I think, goes along. I wouldn't say Vinny Peart to be too happy with that. But especially Vinny of all people. But you know what? I'll be honest. The game kind of Sligo never looked like getting that out of it. It was always going to be a Derry win, and you know that's just the way it was. It was a typical end of season game for Sligo, and you know I think Sligo are definitely happy that they have Europe secured.
Yeah, they'd be happy they got Kenny signed up as well, because he was on the score sheet again the other night for the under-19s, which is great to see as well.
But you know, you're looking at Sligo and they had Derry this week and they have Bowes next week, and you're saying if they didn't beat Pats that time, you know, it could have been a totally different story. But you know, they done it. They got themselves there, and 4 spots up for grabs now between the two of them. I don't think it's going to be a straightforward Bowes win. Next week.
Never is a straightforward Bowes win.
And be honest, I don't think it's going to be a straightforward Derry win either. So, you know, it's going to be a really tight.
I think on paper, to be fair, Derry have the harder one, because Dundalk have improved at Oriel in the last few months in particular, and we were talking actually before we came on air, and the Dundalk fans have been brilliant the last few months. It's their last home game. They're going to really come out for the players and create a good atmosphere, and
especially with the new owners and stuff.
Especially with the new owners and stuff, exactly. So yeah, local owners and all that as well. So that'll give them a bit of a lift as well. But we'll obviously talk about that properly when we do the preview. But we'll move on to Richmond Park. Finished St. Patrick 2, Finn Harps 2. Another game where all the goals were in the first half. All the goals came the first 23 minutes. I didn't know what was going on here, Cian. King's goal after 15 minutes was a peach of a ball from Lennon out to Burns. And look, Darragh Burns done what Darragh Burns does. Lovely ball in. King finishes it nicely. Sean Boyd free kick. I don't know what happened to Pat's wall, but they seemed to part in the middle, Cian. Was bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, I had a great view of it.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Right through the wall, and you know, silly things like that cost you points in the league. And you know, it went through the wall. Stevie, I've no doubt, absolutely hammered the lads over for that. And you know, you'd expect the ball cannot go through a wall no matter what level you're playing at, whether that's under 10 schoolboy or League of Ireland or Champions League football. You know, the ball doesn't go through the wall.
Do you think that comes from a little bit of a lack of focus because of you know, just lack of focus, because obviously nothing to play for as such, cup final coming up. Now, I'm not saying that's excusable. I'm just saying, do you think that's part of the reason?
I think it's just one of them things. And, you know, that look, we see mistakes all the time. Like, you know, it's something you see, but, you know, this is schoolboy error through the wall. And, you know, you can't blame Joshua. I thought in the first half, in fairness to him, he was up against it, and you know Sean Boyd was right on top of him. And
he got clobbered by Siddiqui a couple of times as well, didn't he? They really targeted him, the young keeper.
Yeah, and you know, you'd expect that. You'd expect nothing like that. Like, you know, you're looking at Ollie, and that's the way he is. You expect a tough game, a hard game. You know, if they can't outbeat you, they'll outmuscle you. If they can't outplay it and stuff. So, you know, I felt for Josh, especially in the first half, in terms of, you know, not a great start from with the ball going through the wall. And, you know,
that must have been very frustrating, like, you know.
Yeah, nothing you can do. But, you know, the majority of the crowd on the night was from either side, who probably didn't see the wall breaking as such.
I could see, I was wondering, I didn't see it break as such, but I was saying, how did it go through? Because, I was saying it wasn't even a great free kick. How did that get through? So it was obvious it did, but I couldn't see properly. Like, I was scratching my head, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I have to say, now, in fairness, I think, you know, he the second goal, he obviously, Boyd just ran amok in the box.
It was a super ball, in fairness, by me there.
Excellent ball. No questions about it from Josh at all. In my opinion, it was a great finish. Like, no keeper stopping that. It was postage stamp stuff, top corner. I also have to say now, I obviously bring the kids on the pitch at half time. And as I was walking onto the pitch, Stevie had Josh, and he had a good chat with him as he was walking in, and I like that. I like to see that. Stevie is fantastic at bringing in the young players, and they all want to play for him. And I couldn't tell you what it was saying, or
I would imagine some form of encouragement anyway.
That's it, exactly. And it was an arm around him, and I think Josh came out in the second half a million times better and what he done, and he really conducted himself with the ball at his feet. He's probably, like, even at his young age, he's probably up there in the top 4 or 5 in the league in terms of the ball at his feet and how good he is. Like I said, second half he was excellent. The balls were coming in. He was catching them. He was brilliant. He done excellent. He got clattered a few times as well. And
very brave.
Yeah, very brave to get clattered, especially. And then
Siddiqui's coming at me. I'm probably running the other way. Put it that way.
Yeah, and I have to say the second half, Pats took the game to Finn Harps again.
Actually, just quickly on the goal, actually, that Darragh Burns scored was a superb ball, wasn't it? Again by Jamie Lennon. I mean, I think Lennon thought he was Forrester in the night, to be fair, with some of those passes. But lovely run by Burns, to be fair. Timed it brilliantly and a nice little header. But what a pass by Jamie Lennon there.
I think Lennon was the scapegoat a little bit in earlier when the results weren't going very well for Pats, and it was kind of he kind of found himself out of the team a little bit. And in this league, it's very strange. Usually, when you find yourself out of the team, funnily enough, it always means you're going out the door in January. You're going somewhere else. And no, but that's the nature of the league. If you're not getting in where you are, you don't. 9 times out of 10, you don't stay and fight for your place, Yeah. And I think Jamie Lennon now has nearly put himself down as a nailed-on starter for the cup final. He's been unbelievable in front of the back 4 in that job that he's doing. Look, he's been exceptional. Look, he's had to fill in at right full. He's had to fill in at centre half this year. He's to fill in everywhere nearly. He was playing centre mid. Then I think he's better in front of the back 4 a little bit.
100%.
Now, but he's one of them players that he's not just in front of the back 4. He can tackle. He can break up play. But at the same time, he can be one of our better midfielders in terms of with the ball at his feet as well. And I don't think we see that in the league a lot. Like you look at the centre defensive mids over the years in terms of Greg Bolger, who's still down. You look at Stevie O'Donnell, who done it for years in the middle, and these players can play, but they're few and far between. You're looking at players like Mark Coyle now at the minute, who's probably going underneath the radar a little bit in terms of centre defensive mids. He's probably up there with Jamie Lennon in terms of the best in the country in terms of what they do and what they bring to the side. But I just think he was unbelievable on the night again. Like I said, he was involved with the 2 goals. If I remember.
He was. Yeah, it was a lovely pass to Burns initially, and then obviously for the setup for Burns' header.
Darragh Burns, the young player of the year. Goal of the season, which I was actually surprised about a little bit. Look, I love Darragh. Everyone knows that. But I think Forrester's goal against Longford.
Or even, funnily enough, the Manny Smith one possibly, from the pass from Burns in the same game. And it was the whole play of the goal. But I think they brought the emotional factor into the Burns goal maybe a little bit there. Yeah.
Well, for me, it was Forrester's against Longford. Yeah. And I swear to God, I was lucky enough to be in the ground that day, and the ball just went right behind. Just you hear the net. I can still hear the net now.
It's like a perfect golf shot.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, and that for me now, that would have been goal of the season. But look, I'm not knocking Darragh. I think he deserves it. And then Pats, it'd be disappointed. I thought they didn't win the game. Look, Siddiqui was stupid. You're fighting a relegation battle. You're playing Pats, who are second in the league, and they are in form a little bit. Look, let's be honest. And
could have cost them that game. Pats did put them under pressure after that. Yeah.
Darragh Bones went around. For fairness, Darragh took the piss. He went around them, and then he went back and went around them again. And he did foul. He went around them twice. There's no question. And he made a laugh of him. And that's gonna frustrate you, especially with the come back right in your back and slagging you. So he just volleyed the ball off him, and stupid. And then Ollie Horgan giving him abuse. And
then 2 minutes later, Ollie gets a red card. I was in stitches, I have to say. So,
it's a great point for Harps. I did think they would come and get a point. I did say that.
Yeah. Yeah, it worked out well for them, as you say, with the Waterford results. Obviously, they weren't to know that, but it worked out well. But as you say, Siddiqui could have cost them all 3 points, but it does put them in pole position now going into the last day at home to Longford, because if they beat Longford, there's nothing Waterford can do about that. Like, you know.
Yeah. If they beat Longford, yeah. So it's good. It's good for Harps. I think, you know, out of all the teams, look, I know Waterford have done fantastic over the last couple of months and stuff, but they've only picked up 2 points out of the last 12, and you know that's
suddenly, yeah. What do you put that down to? Actually, we'll go into Waterford now. Actually, we finished obviously Longford 1, Waterford 1, and Williams after 75 minutes equalising after Wordsworth scored after 65. First half. Look, I'm not talking about, there was nothing in this first half that's dreadful, let's be honest. Okay, the pitch doesn't help, I understand that, and there's probably a bit of nerves in Waterford. You kind of called it where you felt Waterford find it difficult in possession to break down Longford, and that was kind of the case. Second half was a bit better, to be fair. After a couple of minutes, Williams had a chance early on. He did look dangerous on the night, though, didn't he? In fairness, like, he looked a bit of zip about him, good movement on that. But obviously Wordsworth, 65 minutes, smashing the ball into the goal. Now, it was a good goal, but it wasn't the best goal of the season either. It was slightly exaggerated, I thought. You know what I mean? It was big. I think the game was poor, and I think they were trying to light it up a bit, which is fair enough. But you thought after that Waterford were probably going to win the match, let's be honest about it, because another hard luck story for Longford. But they won a penalty in 75, and Williams tucked it away, and nice little celebration in front of the Waterford fans, we'll say. And ultimately, I suppose, Halford was sent off, wasn't he? And again, similar to Siddiqui, a little bit silly, a little bit petulant, could have cost them the game. Longford had opportunities, by the way, didn't they, to win that? And bad choices, maybe a pass has cost them a little bit there. But overall, they'll be disappointed with that Waterford, won't they? And as you say, 2 points out of 12, is it?
I think
something like that. It's something like that anyway. That'll be very disappointing for them and Mark Bircham, won't it?
Yeah, look, I'd be fuming if I was Mark. You know, it's not good. You have to go down there and win. Look, I know it was tough. I know the pitch wasn't well, but you went ahead in the game. Look, I said it was a lovely goal in terms of the way he turned and stuck it in the back of the net. But you know, it was a little bit of a mad game in terms of, you know, Waterford went ahead probably against the run of play a little bit, because I don't think both sides kind of deserved to score in the game even. Waterford got ahead, and you're thinking, right, this is it now. Penalty, no, I have no disagreement. Penalty all day. Great finish, tucked it away nicely. Look, he ran down to the away fans, held his jersey up in the messy style celebration. But, you know, I've no problem with that, but that's ripping it a little bit. I've no problem with you running up to the away fans and giving them a little
bit of that and run off you go type thing, yeah.
To take that jersey off and hold it up was a little bit mad. I didn't understand it. It's not like he won the game to
keep them up or something,
keep Longford up or something. I don't know. I don't get my head around it. Look, he's probably enjoying himself, and he is down there. Fairness to him, and look, I'm not going to knock anyone for enjoying themselves, but look, a little bit of common sense, so I would say. But they had chances, and I was screaming at the telly. I swear to God, there was a chance where they had so much time and they missed the ball. The wrong choice.
Was it Manley running through and the cover was there? But if you just calm down a little bit, there was a ball to I'm not sure, it might have been Williams on the left hand side or Warfield maybe.
Yeah, but I swear to God. But then the ball broke down and they were on the edge of the box and they decided to start playing keep ball. I'm like, why are you doing this? You are down there. He's like, going to get relegated. Why not go for it? You know, why not go and get the win? And I just couldn't get my head around it. But if I was Mark Bertram, I'd be fuming. And I heard his interview after the game, and he was fuming. And you know, he just.
I actually didn't hear. Was he upset with the officials over the Halford thing, or was he upset about Halford himself?
They didn't really mention that, in it.
No, which would suggest he probably was upset with Halford, because he would have came out screaming at the referees. Otherwise,
but, you know, I'll be honest. I was listening to his interview, and well, look, I had a lot of respect for him. I still do. I absolutely loved him. But when he started coming out in the media about the cups being fixed and
that was a bit much, yeah,
stuff like that. But he said it the week after as well, and you know, I lost a little bit of respect for him in that sense. But
he just needs to kind of tame it a little bit. I understand after games and stuff, you can be a bit emotional.
He said it the following week. Yeah,
well, that's true. He said it the following week. Yeah, sometimes 5-10 minutes after a game, it can, you know, your head isn't right or something. But to say it a week later, yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it?
So, you know, I just think they need to focus again. They need to hit that reset button. I really do. I hope they beat whoever is in ninth, or sorry, whoever does win between UCD and Bray for the sake of the league. I think Waterford have been fantastic in the league in the last couple of months, and I'd love to see them stay there. And I think it'd be a lot more of a level playing field, and I think it's anyone's game to go down next year.
The other concern is, Keane, you'd be more concerned if you're Waterford as well, because we're talking about players being signed up to 2 and 3 year contracts and stuff. If they were to go down, you're kind of going, well, what happens here?
Yeah. Now, it's, you know, they've a massive game against Pats next week. There's no doubt, the place is going as full as they're going to get it. You know, I think everyone's going to come out for this game. Mark is going to, you know, he's going to start up. He's going to have a right go at Pats, and I think if he has a right go at Pats, he can definitely get a result here.
I think though, if they beat Pats and Harps win, they'll absolutely kick themselves for not winning this game, though.
Yeah, but look, Waterford can only do what they can do. That's win the game and then see what happens. But you know, like I said, I just hope whoever finishes ninth stays in the Premier Division. In my opinion, just for the sake of the league. Look, we're probably going to have a couple of UCD fans here and Bray fans listening into this, and you know they're probably coursing me at the minute. But
let's be real. Waterford and Finn Harps are better sides than UCD and Bray. Let's be real. But that doesn't necessarily mean a one-off game they're going to win. But
no,
they're better sides, you know.
Yeah, and I just think it'd be for the league. I think next year, like if for example, if it stays the way it is now with Shells coming up and then in the fourth division, where if it stays the way it is with Longford going down and Shells coming up, I think it's a level playing field. And it's literally from 1 to probably 6 in the fourth division can win the league. And I think from probably, you know, there's 1 out of 6 teams that could probably win it. Oh, sorry, 6 out of the 8, that could probably go and win the league.
You'd literally have the best 10 teams in the Premier Division and the next best in the first division. No argument, like. Yeah,
and I think it's, I really do. That's something that excites me. I think next year already thinking ahead a little bit. It's something that I'm saying, you know what, every game is going to be amazing. Like, you know, Shells for coming up now, who are probably going to rustle a few feathers in terms of European spots. You would like to think that they could be where Bowes and Derry are now in terms of, you know, maybe getting into Europe, or maybe, you know, that's what you'd like to think. But so that leaves then a place down.
Oh, he freezes, is he? Hello, you frozen? It's frozen. Hello, 1, 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're there. I just froze there, so it did.
Hello.
I hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just froze there, so we're back anyway.
Grand.
Could you see me though, talking or?
Yeah.
Oh, so I was talking away while you were frozen. Yeah. I was going, hello, 1, 2, and you were just like that. Right, so go on, sure. What were you saying anyway?
Look, I just think it's anyone's game in the Premier and the first division next year if it stays the way it is. But UCD and Bray won't like me saying that, and UCD and Bray will want to be in the Premier Division next year. And look, I'm not saying whoever finishes between UCD and Bray are going to go straight back down, because it's not going to be like that. But I would like to see it stay the way it is, and I think probably I'd like to hear what people think underneath. But I think it'd be a brilliant league if it did stay like this. And you know, look, again, just a little bit. I know it's the first division, but to have Bray and UCD playing on Friday night, the last night of the season, like even put it on the Saturday,
Fuck
or
me.
you know, put it on the Wednesday.
Like, it was warranted for that, I think.
Like, put her on the Wednesday night, or put her on, because they're both Dublin. I know Bray is Wicklow, but they're both Dublin-based teams and players and stuff like that. And you know, if you put her on the Wednesday night, I think you'll get a great crowd because it's in Dalymount. It's near everything basically.
And there's loads of people that would have went that support other clubs. Loads of people.
So I'm disappointed in that.
Very disappointed.
But the playoff final, be interesting to see where it's being held. And I think I'm sure there'll be a good crowd because it's not gonna clash with the cup final. You know, so it's
it wouldn't surprise you.
Yeah, probably wouldn't. But, you know, I have to say it's going to be a good couple of weeks. I think 3 weeks now for whoever finishes ninth, and you know, next weekend, what is it? 4 teams? Oh, sorry, I think it's 4 games out of the 5 that there's something to play for in every game.
I think you could be right there. Yeah.
I'm thinking of, you know, you're thinking of Bowls and Sligo. With Bowls are getting through. Yeah, Bowls can go into Europe. You're thinking of Derry and Dundalk.
Who are Shamrock Rovers playing at the top of my head? I can't think. No, who are they playing?
Drogheda, isn't it? That's
yeah, that's the game. That's the game. Yeah, where obviously Drogheda would be delighted with that as well. But yeah,
and then you're looking at, you know, Pats and Waterford, and you know what's the other game? It's gone out of my head now.
Longford, Finn Harps.
There you go, Longford.
Yeah. I see. That's the good thing about a 10-team league. You see as well, though. That's the good thing about it.
And if you remember last year, I think there was 7 teams out of the 10 that could have that had something to play for last year in terms of Europe or staying up.
Yeah, and even Pats kind of had a chance, even though it was kind of unlikely. They still had an actual chance.
Pats had a chance like Dundalk this year.
Yeah, it was highly unlikely, but there's a smidgen, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
it's mad, isn't it?
That's the good thing about the 10-team league, though. There is advantages and disadvantages to it, though. But,
look, I hope that they market it well. I hope that they have a couple of people in different grounds in terms of, I'm not asking for a bleeding soccer Saturday or anything like they do on.
Although that would be brilliant.
Yeah, it would be. But they're going to, obviously, I would presume they have Rovers on the telly.
I think it is, yeah.
I would presume, because they're lifting the title. So we would presume that's on the telly. That's the only game that means nothing. So we hope they have. Look, I understand the champions, they're going to hold her up, and that's why they're on the telly, and I agree with that. But I hope they're going to have someone in Waterford. I hope they're going to have someone in Sligo, and you know, Finn Park, and just have someone there. Even have volunteers who are willing to, like, you know, if they want to send a voice note in and just play it after a goal goes in, something so simple.
I think it'd be great, actually, Kane, just quickly, if say Shamrock Rovers Drogheda is live, there's no reason why they can't. There's a goal in Finn Park and they can actually maybe show the goal.
That's it. That's
kind of way.
Yeah,
exactly. Like something like that's simple enough. I'm sure that's simple enough to do.
But or even, like I said, if they don't even have to show it, just even have a voice note from, like, let's say a reporter. There's always people reporting
20-second note or something, like, you know.
Yeah. The goal here, Sean Boyd scored from, you know, 13 yards out or something stupid like that. That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely.
Like, there's too much going on Friday to just have the one game on telly that, like, essentially is the nothing game. I know Rovers are lifting the title. It's not nothing.
But look, it means nothing in terms of what happens in the game. Let's be honest about it. The game is irrelevant.
Exactly. You know, so you know, I just hope they don't miss the boat on this one. They probably will, though.
Yeah, I think they definitely will. Look, guys, let us know what you think down in the comments. Some interesting discussions there. Subscribe to the channel, hit your bell notification button, and like the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Nice one, Keno. That was very good.